MJ, and today, if you guys are watching this, hopefully I have succeeded in making a baking video with a voiceover and with a product that I actually really like. If everything works out, the links to the recipes will be in the description below. I'm really hopeful that they will, because what I'm making today is a spice cake filled with cinnamon apples, you know, like those like sauteed apples, the ones that are like really soft and really good. And the apples I'm using are actually from a tree at my parents' house. So hopefully by the time this gets to the outro, I will have a really cute product. You guys will be seeing what I'm actually using to make the little cakes, because it's a little like fall, I don't have it, it's upstairs, a little fall like silicone baking tray that I found at Michael's that has little different autumn shapes. Like there's an owl and a squirrel and an acorn. Like it's really cute, it's really fall, and I'm hoping that they all turn out properly and I don't have to throw everything away after they've just destroyed themselves in the pan, because I feel like that's something that would definitely happen to me, and then I wouldn't have anything to show you guys this week, much like last week, which was an absolute fail. So I hope that you guys like the video. This is my first kind of one doing it this style since I was in college. So I hopefully will see you guys with a really cute product in the outro. I hope you enjoy it.
What you're going to need for the apples is 1/4 cup of butter, 4 apples. I used Macintosh from the tree at my parents' house, 2 teaspoons of lime juice, 1/4 cup orange juice, 1/2 cup cold water, 3 teaspoons cornstarch, 1/2 cup brown sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon. What you need to do to make the apples is actually pretty simple. First, you need to melt all of the butter in a large saucepan. While you're doing that, you can peel and cut up the apples. I would recommend doing it first because this is where I messed up. So I had to stop melting my butter to finish making my apples. After that, you're going to add the lime juice and the orange juice and the apples into your melted butter and stir until they're almost soft. Then you're going to dissolve the cornstarch, the 3 teaspoons of cornstarch, in the water and pour it slowly over the apples. Next, you stir in brown sugar and the cinnamon, and you stir until it's bubbling. And the recipe says to serve it warm, but I decided to put it in my cakes instead. I used this really cute baking tray that I found at Michael's. It's made of silicone and it has little forest creatures and it's adorable. 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 1/2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/4 teaspoon ground cloves, 1 3/4 cups of packed light brown sugar. I didn't have any light brown sugar left, so I used dark brown sugar and it turned out pretty well. 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. Again, I did not have vegetable oil. I used canola oil. And 3/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce. 4 large eggs, which actually came from a farm near the house. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 cup of buttermilk, and that was it. First, like in many recipes, they want you to mix all of your dry ingredients together. So that is the 2 1/4 cups of flour, the baking powder, the baking soda, the salt, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, ground ginger, allspice, and ground cloves. After you get all of that whisked together, you want to put that aside so you can mix your wet ingredients. When it comes to wet ingredients, you want to put the brown sugar in first and make sure that it isn't in a large block. And the recipe says use a stand mixer, but I do not have my stand mixer out at the moment, so I used a hand mixer instead, and it worked out pretty well. Not as well as a stand mixer like I would have wanted, but it still works. After you get all of the brown sugar crumbled up, you want to add in the vegetable oil, or in my case, canola oil, and the applesauce. After all of those are combined, you want to add in all 4 of your eggs. And then the vanilla. Now, I did this a little bit backwards. I put the buttermilk in before I put the flour mixture in, because the recipe says put in half of the flour mixture, then the buttermilk, and then the other half after you whisk it all together. I put the buttermilk in first, and then I whisked that in, and then I put half of the mixture, the dry mixture in, and I whisked that together, and then finally the other half of the dry mixture. I didn't see any problem with it. Follow the recipe. The recipe said to cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes. 28 to 32 minutes. I'd say it'd be closer to 30 to 35, depending on your oven. But I found that it was not done enough after 25 minutes, so I kept it in for another almost 10. So mine was about 35 minutes, but I also had a small baking tray and a normal sized 8-inch baking pan as well. Now, the recipe originally didn't call for putting the apples in the cake, but I thought it would taste really good if the apples were inside. I always find it really fun and always really tasty when there's something inside the cake, because it leaves the moisture in the cake that you need. And putting the apples in the middle actually made it taste really, really good. So I was very happy with it. When you pull them out of the oven after they're done cooking, make sure to let them sit in their pans for a while, because the silicone will hold heat a little bit longer, and you don't want to ruin the little woodland creatures and the little woodland nature pieces when you're pulling them out. I know I had that problem with the stem of the leaf and also with the squirrel. Because the apples had moved slightly, I decapitated the squirrel as soon as I pulled it out of its mold.
Hi again. So, welcome to the outro. I don't really know what else to call it, but like the end of the video. And I'm going to show you kind of again what my little cakes look like. I know you guys have seen them in the little voiceover section, but they're so cute. They're so cute. Like, I can't get over how well they turned out. I mean, I decapitated the squirrel by accident when I was pulling it out of the pan. I actually don't have any footage of me pulling it out of the pan just because I was so afraid of them all coming out in pieces. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to get them out of the pan, I'm going to put them on a tray, and then I'm going to show everybody in a minute. Granted, would I have liked if they didn't bubble over? Yes, but I know I put too much batter in the baking tray, so next time I'll know, just use a little bit less. But here they are, and I don't want to drop them off the plate, but they're so cute. Like, I don't want to drop them off the plate. Please stay on the plate. There's the owl and the squirrel, which I decapitated by accident, and the leaf, which it lost its little stem when it was coming out of the pan, so that's why it's missing. It's still really cute. The little acorn, and then the hedgehog, and the hedgehog is absolutely my favorite. So they smell amazing. I actually tried the cake, the larger cake that I made that wasn't, because I had so much extra batter that they didn't fit in the little molds. And it's very good. I actually really liked having the apples in the center. I should have mixed them in a little bit more in the bigger cake just because there's more space. But it was a really good recipe. I really enjoyed using it. And oh, there we go. My light's flipping out right now and I'm not quite sure why. But I really enjoyed the recipes. The recipes are down. Stop that right now. The recipes are in the description below. I found them on Pinterest, and sometimes I feel like with Pinterest you have the risk of having like an absolute Pinterest fail, and this time it was not a fail. I call it a Pinterest success. If my light would stop doing that, that would be really, really helpful, but I don't think it will. Oh look, wait. There. I don't know. It just feels like doing what it feels like today, so I'm just going to let it. But, I just lost my whole train of thought because my light's freaking out. Sorry. But these are really cute. I love the little mold I used. You don't have to use a mold. You don't even have to put the little apples in the center. The apples are amazing all by themselves. I can definitely assure you of that. But I had a lot of fun baking today. It's something I haven't done in a while just because I've been so busy. So having the ability to do that today with all the other things that are going on in my life was really, really nice, because it was a nice kind of like break from everything else that's going on. So I hope you guys like it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel down below. Last week's video will be down below. All the links to my social media will be down below. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next Monday with another video. So until then, bye!